Thank you so much, President. Let me immediately turn to another leader, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. Your Excellency, it's a great pleasure to welcome you live, and thank you for making time to not only record a statement, but allow us to hear live from you, a country that you lead that has often been at the forefront of addressing the environmental challenges of the 21st century. Now, as Prime Minister, you have signed this pledge. What will you, nationally and internationally, do towards reversing biodiversity loss by 2030 and promote that integrated approach to sustainable development? Prime Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Merci, Monsieur Steiner. C'est un plaisir de voir mes amis, le président Alvarado, la première ministre Solberg et d'autres avec nous. C'est très important aujourd'hui. I think the most important thing is that we understand, even as this pandemic has shown us how connected we are, that we need to act in concert together to protect biodiversity. That's why Canada has signed on to the Leaders' Pledge. We've also signed on to the High Ambition Coalition. What does that mean concretely? It means we're committed to protecting 25% of our land and 25% of our oceans by 2025 and hitting that 30% for each by 2030. And the way we're going to do that is the way we've worked on it so far, which is working with Indigenous peoples who need to be partners in protecting the land, who understand how important it is to be good stewards of this land and these waters that sustain us. We're going to move forward on things like banning plastics, like planting 2 billion trees, moving forward on protecting our wetlands, and really bringing Canadians to connect once again to their natures. So there's an awful lot that we can do. At the same time, however, we have to realize that the world needs to move in this way too. And as I look through this list, and it's wonderful to hear well over 70 countries signed on, but I can't help but remarking that Canada is the second largest country by geography in the world. We have the longest coastline in the world. So of course, we're glad to be here as part of this, but we're the only country in the top 10 largest countries in the world who've committed to these pledges. That means all of the rest of us, and every country will find it difficult to protect 30% of their land and protect biodiversity. So it's not about who's doing better. But in terms of sheer acreage of the world, we need to get those other 9 largest countries in the top 10 to do their part and step up as well. So all of us who are part of this, we need to be working with our friends and allies around the world to make sure that Canada isn't the only country in the top 10 committed to reaching these goals. Because as much as we can all do together, we need to make sure everyone is part of protecting biodiversity and doing everything they can internally and around the world. C'est un moment qui nous rassemble, qui doit nous rassembler, et on va le faire ensemble.
Merci, Monsieur le Premier Ministre. Thank you very much, and thank you for reminding us of 2 things also, which Canada has been also at the forefront of addressing: the Indigenous peoples, very often the forgotten stewards of biodiversity, often even undermined in their capacity to protect biodiversity. They are part of that global effort. They must be an integral and active part. And thank you also for reminding us, yes, that sometimes leadership means stepping forward when others are not yet ready to move. But I think it is through the act of leadership that we're all hopeful that other nations will follow, especially those who perhaps have some of the biggest footprints when it comes to biodiversity, but also to the destruction of biodiversity. And thank you again for your and Canada's leadership and commitment.